A young American named Matthew travels to Paris to improve his French. He visits movie theaters and soaks up the art of cinéma verite, of French directors. The year 1968 is the time of the May events in Paris. There is a revolution in the cinemathèque. Matthew attends one of the events, where he notices a young woman dressed in an epical fashion. Girl, chained to a fence and smoking a cigarette. They get acquainted. The girl's name is Isabella. Later, Isabella's brother-in-law approaches the guys Teo and his friends. A confrontation with the police starts, and the group leaves the meeting in a hurry. Walking along the promenade, the boys get a better look at each other and, in a hail of rain, they scatter home. Encouraged by his new acquaintance, Matthew writes a letter to his mom and shares the news. Matthew gets a call from Teo. The new acquaintance's boyfriend invites Matthew to dinner with Isabella. The dinner takes place at the twins' house, where they introduce the boy to their mother, and then to his father, who's busy cutting up of a letter. At dinner, Matthew shows observation and demonstrates the geometry of a lighter with a pattern on the tablecloth. The father turns out to be a poet, but is in a creative crisis, which stresses Teo, and they have a little conflict. After dinner, the parents go away on a business trip, leaving the company alone. In a large apartment, Isabella goes to bed, almost setting her hair on fire, but kissing Matthew. Teo leads his friend through the corridors of the big house to the guest room. The guest room where the boy spends the night. When Matthew wakes up, he rushes to the bathroom and comes out of it to find his brother and sister in the same bed. A little later, Eliza wakes the boy up by licking his eyes. She calls it sleep deprivation. Matthew goes to the bathroom where the brothers are lying in bed. Isabella confesses to Matthew that he has the most beautiful lips. The brother and sister invite Matthew to move into their apartment, to which they receive a positive response. On the bed, the young writers argue about Charlie Chaplin's work. Teo and Bella start freaking out. It turns out to be a game in which Teo has to guess the names of the movie by their movements. Surprisingly, the pissed-off guy has it in less than a minute, for which he received recognition and an offer to participate in a test. You have to repeat a famous scene from the movie Bonaparte, where a group of friends run at full speed through the Louvre. Eventually, they run through the Louvre and repeat the scene and break the record for running time. As a prize, the guy gets a membership to their club and joins their gang. After getting caught in the rain, the guys return home. Theo suggests Matthew change into his clothes in his room. Digging through a friend's closet, Matthew finds a picture of Isabella in a swimsuit and hides it in his pants. The girl performs a performance with a brush where Teo has to guess the name of a movie. He fails and loses and has to punish himself by doing an indecent act in front of everyone. At the bar, the guys discuss the strange relationship between brother and sister. As time passes, one night Teo orders Matthew to watch a movie Matthew can't guess the title of. The punishment is that Matthew and Isabella have to make love in front of Teo. At the sight of a naked girl, the boy runs away in fright, but his escape ends in fails, and is forced to make contact with Isabella out of choice. And they like it so much that they do it again and again. Eventually, from friends to lovers, Teo becomes jealous of his new friend. When Matthew returns from the kitchen, he finds Teo on the bed with his lover. A serious conversation takes place between them. For breakfast, Isabella has prepared overcooked fondue and ratatouille, to which Teo refuses to eat. But Matthew, out of respect for the girl, he tries the inedible food. The boys discover that they have run out of money left by their parents, and Teo has to go to the dumpster and look for food there. Of all the food they find, Teo pounces on a banana. Teo meets a classmate at the university who is not happy with his absenteeism, and Teo promptly runs away. In the bathroom, Teo and Matthew discuss the war in Vietnam. The young men do not support U.S. policy and find the government's policies flawed. After they are already in the company of Isabella, smoked a cigarette and decided to confess to each other in sincere love. The girl offers to give Matthew a haircut in a private area zone, to which the guy becomes furious and decides to say everything he thinks about the strange relationship between brother and sister. Eventually, he manages to ask Isabel to a date alone without his brother. They go to the movies, sit on the last row, and enjoy each other. After the movie, they walk down a deserted street. where they come across a pile of discarded waste paper. Isabel finds a woman's glove and realizes that Teo has brought a girl into the house. Matthew heads to his girlfriend's room, which has been hidden for him. The music comes on and the girl becomes hysterical and knocks on her brother's room, chasing away her boyfriend. In the morning, Matthew tries to get his mind right by doing push-ups. Isabella smokes in bed and Teo finds wine. While drinking the wine, the young men discuss. Isabella interrupts their dialogue and invites them to the hutch's built-in the living room. In the night, the girl wakes up and confesses her love for her brother and demands that he do the same. In the morning, her parents arrive and are shocked by the mess they have seen. But what really horrifies them is the shawl in which their daughter and son and a friend are lying naked. Instead of a scandal, they silently hand over the check and quietly go away. When Isabella wakes up, she finds the check and tries to find her parents. Not surviving the shame, the girl decides to poison the sleeping company. But in time, a rock from the protesters flies through the window and the boys escape. They run out into the street and join the crowd and confront the police. Matthew doesn't support it and leaves, while Teo throws a Molotov cocktail at the police.